Hey everybody, it's Patrice and Erin, and we are in KW Glasgow. We are here talking about agent-to-agent referral business. So Erin, why don't you start introducing yourself and I will do a screen share.
Fantastic. So my name is Erin Wheelock. I'm out of the New York City Market Center, good old New York, New York. I've been with Keller Williams for 6 years. I've been in the business for just about 10 years. And yeah, so excited to learn from you guys, learn with you guys, and share some of our favorite tips and tricks with all of you.
Yay! So, and I'm Patrice Sandstrom, and I am in the San Francisco Bay Area, hence the bridge, even though I'm actually in Louisiana right now. And I've been doing this for about 16 years. Some of you met me from our Inspired into Action class, so you know a little bit about my story. So I run a small team here. We have 3 admin and 3 buyer's agents, and Danielle, who's brand new to our team, she's already amazing. I'm super excited. She's on here with us, and we are very much about KW. Erin and I met last year at the family reunion, where Erin was actually teaching a panel on how to be a luxury agent. And she and I just immediately connected, and we always find that we're 2 sides of the same coin. So we have very similar values and we're running similar businesses, but what we found is how we really benefited each other by sharing what one of us were doing. So this is a really regular class. We are not scripted. We have notes, of course, that we're going to go through, but some of you will learn more from Erin, some from me, and hopefully we'll just be our best selves. So today is all about getting a referral business and building a business as a referral partner. So Erin, tell us how many pillars we should have in real estate for building our business while I'm looking for the mouse.
Yeah. 5 pillars, no more than 5 pillars. And by pillars, what we mean is something that you actually focus on in order to feed your business. If you guys try to focus on, 10, 15 different types of lead generation, right, we're not going to be really doing them purposefully and well. So we always suggest never focus on more than 5. Now you can try that you truly enjoy doing best, and then, really 10x on 3 of them, but 5.
Absolutely. So number 1, today our class is about building it through agent-to-agent referrals. Why would you like to do this? Number 1, so I always say, I just started building real agent-to-agent referral business and making this a pillar last year. So I used to get most of my business from open housing. I would go there, and I think some of you are just starting to do open houses. It's becoming a little bit more popular in the UK, but basically you have a listing, you hold it open at a certain time, and then potential buyers will come in. You get a chance to naturally meet people. You're touring the house and they're getting to see how you are. So that has always been a really big part of my business. And obviously, thank you, COVID, that dried up real quick. So thanks. So we started making some calls to our database, but to be honest, I don't know about you guys, but COVID was stressful for me. So I was having a tough time, and I had some personal stuff in my life that came up, and I wasn't able to make those client calls because those can be a little more challenging, right? I mean, we're hearing no 97 out of 100 times. And when you have stuff going on in your life, sometimes for me, it was a challenge for me to put myself on those phone calls. What was easy for me is to have conversations with people that were similar to me. And so I started building business this way and just having agent-agent relationship calls. So why do you want to do this? Number 1, you guys, this is win-win. This is a situation where I'm literally, when we're calling agents and building these relationships, whether we're receiving the business or giving the business, both sides make money, right? And the clients get to be happy. So that is so cool. As I mentioned, it's easier conversations. You're able to see people. And again, for us, we've been living all through Zoom and Facebook. So I was able to see people online that would comment about things that I felt were similar to me. I was able to see if their lifestyle was the same. You could kind of see someone's values and who they are by watching them on Facebook. So it became easier for me to have conversations with people because it worked out well, right? With people that are like you. And then what I love is that we get to get multiple deals per year. So before doing this, I was fortunate that I would get agent referrals and customer referrals, but they were always onesie twosie, and we do a nice job and both sides would kind of shake hands and a check would be exchanged. And then that would be it, right? Because those people didn't think that they would give me more business, right? And I didn't think they would either. But what I've learned is now that we're running this as a business and we're really purposeful, we're getting an average of 3 deals a year from our referral partners instead of just 1. And the reason is because we do such a great job of making it so easy for them, and we're communicating that by the end of it, we're in relationship with the agent. We've become a part of their daily routine because we're checking in twice a month, even if there's nothing to say. And so we're starting to get multiple business, and they see us almost as an expansion group. So my goal is for them to actually put me in their business plan next year, where they say, I want Patrice to earn me 3 transactions next year. I want to just sit there and have Patrice mail me checks. Isn't that cool? So that's the why. How about you, Erin? I know you get a lot of business this way as well. Anything I missed on there?
No, I think you said it all perfectly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you guys just think about it, right? These people are going to give their business to someone, so why not you, right?
Free cash, people. Everybody loves free cash. Now, next, how? How can you do this? And how can you do this in the most MREA way, right? So number one, we're at KW, we do it coming from contribution. Don't get on the phone call and start calling strangers and saying, can you please give me your clients? That will be creepy, right? And by the way, I get those phone calls
and people
all the time.
do it.
All the time,
all
right?
The time.
You can do a better
crazy.
way of saying, like, what do I need to do to earn your business? But even still, if you call me right, I'm busy. So if you call me and say, like, who do you know? I may like you today, but I will forget about you if you're not there and at the top of my mind at the time. So number two, we want you to be strategic. If you're doing this as a business, then we want to make sure that there's thought put into this and that go ahead. Sorry, Erin.
Sorry. So coming from contribution though, what we're trying to get at is don't just call people and ask them for business, right? If you want to start calling other agents in other areas, you should call them and just be like, hey, I actually wanted to get to know you. What is your area like? What is your neighborhood like, right?
Yes.
So we're coming from giving to them and learning about them. And then, in that way, we can come from contribution and create that back and forth relationship with them.
100%. Yeah. You guys we want to be strategic. So, and we'll talk more about that. How do you choose your people? Where do you find them? We want to be consistent. So again, this is the MREA way, right? We touch people 36 times over a 2-year period. That's what it takes to build a relationship before it figures out. So we say that you should do the same thing for your referral partners as well. And then we want you to be authentic.
Actually get the results that like Patrice gets, which she'll go over because she actually treats it like a business. She's very purposeful. And this is a giant pillar of her business. And therefore, well, you'll hear her results soon.
So yeah, you guys, it definitely is something that I had looked past for a very, very, very long time. So I'll share, last year, again, when all this came up with COVID, I ended the year saying, oh my God, I had 40 people that referred me from June through December, and I was amazed. Right now, I'm over 100 opportunities. Now, that doesn't mean I've closed 100 pieces of business. Sometimes an agent will give me a deal. I call the client and they say, I already have a commitment with someone, but I still consider that a win because I'm top of mind to that agent. We still send them a gift. We still stay in contact with them, and we still follow up to make sure, because as Erin and I sometimes will talk about, is a lot of agents don't follow up, you guys. A lot of agents drop the ball. If we can show that we're different, maybe we don't earn this client, but if we earn that that realtor relationship, it'll pay off in the long run. So yeah. So, and then by the way, I have a goal when we talk about goals, but I send out business as well. So far this year, I've closed $6,000 of business that's come to me in the last few months. So $1,000 a month just coming in that I've done zero for, other than connecting people, which is really cool. So how would an MREA agent build their business, right? How would that, and I just noticed earlier, I have an extra L in millionaire, so I apologize. I know that that's not spelled correctly. We'll fix that another time.
Lots of zeros.
I know, I should have put more zeros than L's, right? So you guys, we are with Keller Williams. We are the #1 agency in the whole world, right? We're in arguing between 52 to 54. I've heard 54 countries, but on KWW today, it said 52, right? We have almost 200,000 agents in the world. Why wouldn't we leverage this to try and build our business, right? Number two, what about the agents that are already in your country? The whole UK, it could just be Scotland, but there are agents all over that you can't cover every little nook and cranny. So we talk about a lot, you should go there first. Agents from your neighboring markets. Where are people moving to and from outside of Glasgow, right? So usually for where we are in San Francisco, I know my buyer profile and I know my buyers are coming from San Francisco or Oakland and Berkeley into my neighborhood. It just happens. Anybody that's leaving my neighborhood is usually going out of state. So I know exactly where that is. So where is that for you guys, right? Are people trying to move from the country to the beach, from the city to wherever, right? When their lifestyle changes. So we want to be thinking about those things. Specializations. I don't do commercial property at all. I only specialize in residential. I'm really great at residential. Could I do commercial? Maybe, but I wouldn't be able to service it well. So for me, it's smarter to have a relationship that I give commercial agents all of my commercial business, and then they give me all of their residential business, because it's always got to be, again, win-win, right? And then also, especially for you new agents, if we have, I don't know how many new agents we have in the room, looking for agents that need leverage maybe in your market center, right? Whether someone's traveling and maybe you can help them by sharing their business and kind of doing a shared deal, or you're a new agent finding an experienced agent and doing their overflow business. You know, you've got to set yourself up, and Erin, you kind of talked about this when we took our last class. It's showing those standards and showing who you are as a person so that somebody knows that they can trust you with their business, because that's a big part of it, right?
Absolutely.
So that's kind of our little why. So next, as an MREA agent, we need to make sure that we are being strategic and having a plan. So number one, you need to set a goal. And I would set a big goal. When I said 100 referrals, I felt like Austin Powers when he's like, $1 million, right? And now I'm like, and then in March, I'm on pace that usually I get a deal for every business day is the pace that I've been on since March. It's crazy. So some weeks I'll end up with 7 potential opportunities and some weeks 3, but that's about what I'm averaging right now. That would have never happened if I wasn't purposeful and if I didn't set a big goal to begin with, right? The second thing is, and you don't have to quite go there, is you should have an outgoing goal as well. I would say that my outgoing goal and me going out of my way to give business to other people and to help connect other people, whether I'm getting compensation or not. Sometimes I'm just connecting 2 agents and I don't get any money for it, but it's just the satisfaction. But because I'm so purposeful about that, everything kind of comes back, right? Number 2, you guys, you should make a commitment. You know, we have our 401s and our GPSs. What are you going to commit to? What kind of a time so that you can make this a true part of your business, right? Because we're not talking about dibble dabbling in this. If you're going to do something and make it a pillar of your business, it should be a foundational piece, right? Next, we want to use strategy to select our partners, and Erin's going to show that in a minute. Next, we're going to talk about building trust, right? You don't want to just ask for someone to give you their business. I don't know about what Erin and I have talked about before. I don't know how it works in Glasgow, but I have skipped opportunities to receive referral business if I don't have someone that I can trust, because my reputation is more important to me than money all day long. So I won't give someone out if I don't believe they can do a great job, and I'm not going to get a pat on the back and someone saying thank you. I would rather skip that opportunity. So if you're going to do this well, then one of your goals is going to have to be to build trust with these agents, to show them that their reputation is safe in your hands, right? So, and you can do this by adding value, delivering results, and communicating. And Erin's going to share that. So I'll stop a screen share, Erin, so that you can show us how we can use strategy to select your partners and how we can communicate better.
Absolutely.
Does anyone have any questions? By the way, too, stop us if so.
Anyone? Raise of the hand.
Rebecca, did you have a question?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Yeah, guys, I was just going to ask, so when you were speaking about sort of asking other businesses to make referring to you part of their business plan, is that what you meant when you were chatting earlier on, so that you've got that long-term relationship with them?
Well, you can definitely do this with businesses in your local area. This applies to that too, right? You definitely can do that. I mean, we're talking about this as agent to agent business because people will be more purposeful. I don't know about you guys, we can't give a referral fee to another business, so you wouldn't have that. But that's absolutely a great part of your business, and that'll come up some with our events class next week also. So this can apply either way, but as an agent, they actually get compensated, right? Because the standard that we see is 25% of a referral will go out to the referring agent. So, you know, my average commission's $30,000. So I'm happy to give out $8,000, $10,000. Is that worth it for someone? Oh, heck yeah, right? So if I can teach them that giving me business is a way to make money, if I can make it easy for them, and if I could stay in a relationship, why will they not do that all day long? You guys have heard of expansion, right? There's expansion teams all over the world. Let this be your way of being an expansion partner for 300 agents, right? Get that business to come into you, and then of course go backwards as well. Is that what you mean, Lynette? Did I answer that okay? Hi, Carol Ann. I thought you were in the car. Thanks for being here.
We're not leaving until after this is finished now, so I'm here.
I'm going to give you a heart. Thank you for altering your day.
I love it.
Okay, Erin, now you should be able to share whenever you're ready.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. So one of the things that I want to talk about being strategic when it comes to finding your partner is most of the time, these people that you are referring, and not always, but most of the time, these are people that have either worked with you or they at least know you, like you, trust you. So when you're thinking about that referral partner, make sure that you're thinking about someone that is like you, right? Like I actually had a client once be like, Erin, I need you in Miami. Who do I need to go to? Because the truth is, like for me, a lot of my clients are high Ds, right? We're in New York City. We're on the go. We don't have time for small talk. Like if you don't bullet point it for me, I probably won't read it. Sad, I'm working on it. But and I have done this, I've sent, you know, a referral to another city to an agent that is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. However, this agent was more of a SC. They're a little bit slower. They repeated themselves a few times. And the feedback I got instantly was, Erin, I don't think these agents know what they're doing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're actually amazing agents. But that's because they're expecting to work with me. Doesn't mean that they're not fantastic agents, but just make sure that you're keeping that in mind and having good conversations with people when you're going to actually refer them. Because if you can have them having the exact same experience elsewhere that they would have with you in your city, you will just go that much further with your business and seem like that much more of the, you know, the professional. So this is something that we give out to our referrals. It's called, we call it our communication expectation sheet. We have this for clients as well, but we do have it for referrals. And here's why, because I want to be like Patrice and build a business where I get, you know, multiple referrals from everybody in a year. So what we do, or in years and years to come, right? So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm communicating with that agent the way that they want to be communicated with. Like some agents are like, don't talk to me at all, but just send me the check when we're done. They all get gifts, like Patrice does as well. But some people are like, oh, I really want an update every so often or every month, every week, right? We just want to know what they want. And then we're going to give that to them because, again, we just want to make sure that we are very purposeful in our referral partners and we're treating them as good as possible so that they keep coming back.
It's so important, you guys. It's amazing. This is amazing for a great relationship. But Erin, haven't we had so many times where someone really drops the ball? They say, you find out that the client bought and the agent dropped the ball and they said, oh, well, they weren't qualified or whatever. So you're thinking that you're going to get a referral, a callback, and maybe they didn't. So number one, you could lose that business. And then number two, again, we want to end up with building relationships when it's all said and done. And that both parties, you end up with a happy client and then both agents are compensated. So it's so very important, you guys. And again, it's great that she uses this for her clients. So this is another something that we're teaching in this class, but take this over and use this with your own clients. Erin's so great about this. Thank you for sharing that, Erin.
Yeah, of course. And I will actually, I'm going to find a way to share this with all of you because I did in the last one, so I can do it again. And another way for you guys to be strategic. So Facebook. We all love Facebook. So what I would do is go to search, type in referral. There are so many referral groups out there, you guys, and it doesn't just have to be Keller Williams referral groups. There's tons of Keller Williams referrals groups, but there's just so many. I wonder if this will even let me show you all of them. There's End of results. Well, that's not true. There's a lot. Anyway.
So join them all.
So join them all. And then click on some of them, especially like this one, right? There's 41,000 members in there, right? This one is 8,000. So you want to do this in all of them, but go in. And there's a little search button here. So let's just type in Scotland. Vanessa Scotland, good job her. Right, look at this. February 1st, needs an agent, Scotland near Glasgow. So if you run a search, there's two important things of this. Number one, you can find people, not always, but there is a chance that this person who had one referral there, maybe he has family there, right? Maybe this is someone who is going to consistently have business in that area. Not always, but it's very possible. And the second thing is, you know, COVID, nobody was expecting last year. And I've actually gone back in and, you know, I have reached out to these people, you know, hi, Erin Wheelock, New York City. I did notice that in the past, you have put up a referral for New York City and I'm expanding my referral partners. Please tell me about where you work, right? Tell me about your neighborhood, how I can help you. I'd love to save you my phone. Again, coming from that contribution. But what I have actually had happen was people that are like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for calling. I was actually just talking to that person, or, you know, I'm going to reach out to them because I don't think that they sold, or I don't think that they bought, right? Things in the world happen. So you have to make sure that, you know, when you have these referrals, or, you know, follow up as much as you. So why not give this guy a call and see if his referral was actually taken care of? So yeah, then you can just keep going, looking for an agent in Scotland for opportunity to be on a House Hunters International. Ooh, that sounds like fun. But anyways, now I'm just so excited. So I would just go through all of these different referral groups and just start going in, right? Keller Williams Worldwide Referrals. There's so many groups, and just search Scotland and see, or you can search, you know, the city that you're in, the areas you serve, if you serve multiple areas, and just see if anybody's lived there and just try to make that connection.
Isn't that amazing? I didn't know about this until Erin shared. It's just, again, it's such a smart way to be strategic, you know, and getting kind of that, just that direct middle of the target. And so, yeah, she's just able to find more people, right? We talked about there's 200,000 people in KW, not even counting agents all over. Like, you may as well start somewhere. If you're going to start somewhere, we may as well start at the area that's going to make the very most sense, right? Awesome. Thank you, Erin.
Yeah. Any questions on this before I stop sharing my screen? We've all used Facebook. Maybe.
I just think that's really
Okay.
cool, Erin. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why we're all a part of KW anyways, right? So we can all share all of our
Absolutely.
fun tricks.
And Alan, I see that you just unmuted. Did you just unmute to say something before we?
No, I've constantly been on unmute, but I'm just very quiet in the background.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, I can't always see the stuff. So you guys definitely make sure you're thank you for sharing that, Erin, because I think it's wonderful. I know it's interesting. So part of how we've been doing, you guys, some of you that see us, we've been doing a lot of classes in the UK, right? So it started first, Ali, who we did meet in France Family Reunion, of course. So that's where we met him. And so he had us teach a class there, but it was Mehmet, who's in, oh my God, why can't I think of his market center right now? What's wrong with me? So he invited us to come in. So we taught classes in their office, but Mehmet started just by, we didn't meet him other than he joined these groups and he was communicating and he was asking questions. And then he started sharing our names, right? So you just have to little by little get yourself out there. And because, you know, again, it's Keller Williams Worldwide. You're in a small country, like, get your name out there and start having these relationships. Does it feel weird at first? Oh my gosh, yes. I used to be in such judgment of Facebook. I was like, I'm not, either people are bragging or complaining. That's what I thought Facebook was for, actually. I didn't want to do either of those things in public, right? I was like, that sounds gross. But now that I see it as a business tool, it really is amazing. And so sometimes I do post things that it's like, oh my God, here's me again. There's my face again. You know, who wants to tag people? But it really does, you guys, it really does work. In a year, I've changed my entire business where business is coming into me instead of chasing business by doing this. So this does work. Any other questions, any ahas before we go to the next screen share?
And I just shared the document.
Oh, sweet. Thank you, Erin. And you guys, so we have someone else from my market center in California just came, and it's super early. Where did I just see? Is she still here? Maybe not. So make sure those of you that want to share your info, put it in the chat so that you guys can go back and forth, because we have people from different market centers. So always a great idea. And by the way, we teach these classes all the time. You guys can always come to another one. We're teaching this series in Greece as well. So anytime you see anything Erin and I do, we are all about the practicing what we preach. So everyone is always welcome, and you can always put your name in constantly. So these will always be at the same time. So definitely do those things, right? So that gets us to take action. And this is where we are, right? It always goes back to action. So number one, Erin just showed us to join the referral groups, right? Number two, you can start a referral group, right? So at Family Reunion last year, we invited, I think we had 22 people, and we hosted a dinner of people that we like and said, we want to be more purposeful about getting referral business. So we met one another, we had great conversation, we shared ideas, we talked about our businesses. And over the past year, a little bit over a year, we have put each other's names up almost every day. I know I've personally gotten about 6 deals on these, because again, if you're the only one that's putting your name up, it's harder to get, right? But if everyone's kind of supporting one another, it gets to be a little bit easier. So we have a referral group that we help each other to support each other's business, right? If I see Erin's name or a couple of other people, I'm jumping on because I want to make sure they have the best chance of business. The other thing is, when you're putting your name out there, you have to call and send messages to you guys. This isn't just a passive job, right? This is MREA business. We want to be millionaires, so we're going to have to work for it. So make sure you're calling those even when you do those referral groups. Number two.
And also, I'm sorry, I just want to say something about that, because somebody the other day was like, I just send them messages. Just something, if you don't know this about Facebook, is if you're not friends, it doesn't actually go into their inbox. It goes to like this other box. So sometimes they're alerted, sometimes not. And finding people is the easiest thing ever. It's that, like us realtors, right? We want everybody to be able to find us. So if you just type in a name in Google, like a name and real estate, or a name and like location, which you could find on their Facebook page, it is so easy to find them and their phone number. And like Patrice is saying, not a lot of people call them. So if you're that one person that calls and makes the connection, it's great.
It makes a difference. And again, yeah, it's all about supersize. So one of my favorite teachers is Michael Putnam, and he always says 1 + 1 = 8, right? So you have to do all the steps. So for me, when my name is put up there, I ask my friends for support. It took me a long time to start asking for help, but it really makes a difference, right? Because I help them back. So they help me by doing it. I also have a message that I send out that says, hi, I'm Patrice. I want the chance to earn your business. I'm really purposeful about language. Erin talks about NLP language, right? So earn your business and saying those kind of things so that we're making sure that they respect me. I talk about my awards and how we'll be different. And so I send that out. Plus we also call and text. So we are just like a triple threat. We want to show them who we are as a people. If they give us their business, they know that we're going to take care of it. Remember, that's money in their pocket. They want someone to work for them who's actually going to be working. So thank you, Erin.
And just, Julia, I'm not sure if that explained or if that answered the call. So when people post on Facebook that they're looking for a referral agent, we just think it's really important for you to actually search them, find their phone number, and call them to win that referral. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, sorry,
Julia?
I don't see the chat. Oh, there she is.
Yes, okay, perfect. Yeah, no, that's all good.
Yay.
Perfect.
So number two, Evelyn's going to love this, is number two, you guys, you should be inviting these people to your classes and events, right? It doesn't just have to be KW agents. I get referrals from all over the world in different companies, and I get referrals from 15 minutes away from agents from other companies because they like to work in their little territory, right? That's where you could get the most referrals, is within 50 miles, in my opinion, right? So who do you know that's not in KW that should have been in this class today, right? Number one, Evelyn will be grateful if they join. That'll be awesome. You can get some growth share. Number two, what a way to come from contribution to help them to grow their business, right? And then you're building a relationship with them. Erin, were you going to say something?
Wait, I just wanted to pause you. I love this. Emma, can you believe I just had an agent from the US reach out to me while we were on this?
Literally,
Perfect.
just
I
had
love
a
it.
message from somebody to say we've got mutual friends. He's in Keller Williams, New Jersey.
I just saw that.
You got to introduce him to Erin.
So he's with
What's
Keller
his
Williams, New Jersey. So he just wanted to reach out and say hi.
I love
weird
it.
is that?
What's his name?
His name is Rob Howell.
We've taught this class in New Jersey. I'm like, I wonder if it was someone who took our class. Maybe not. You should ask him if he knows
That's
Erin.
really cool.
Well, I told him I was on a call with Patrice and Erin at the moment. So he says, I don't want to disturb you, so reach back out later.
That is so awesome.
That's good.
You could send him the link if he
I
wants to
love it.
join.
That's
We'll
cool.
introduce him and he can do some New Jersey representing too.
I mean, that's
I
just
love
so
that.
weird that it happened at that moment, though.
We
That
actually, it's all by
positive energy.
design, right? The universe is on our side when you do the right things. That's so cool. Yeah. So again, you know, you could invite him to this class. Anybody from all over the world, and you guys, it doesn't have to just be Erin and me. There are some classes that are very restricted, but I've taken classes in the UK and I've brought agents from that I'm trying to recruit in California to take classes over there, right? When I like a teacher, I want them to teach all the people that I care about because I either want to recruit them, I just want to be kind to them, or I just want to help their business, right? So it's a great way to think about just kind of changing it. Does that sound good? Yeah, and Evelyn will love that. She's like, please get all of the agents that are not with KW in Glasgow and have them come next week. The events class will be fun and Erin's database mastery, spectacular.
It will be.
Let's see, agent only newsletter. So Erin actually is what inspired me to get started with newsletters. And she was doing something that helped her agent partners. Erin, tell us all about it.
Yeah, so it started with COVID. I've been doing newsletters for a while, but when COVID was going on, so in New York, you know, a proper 1-bedroom is like 700 square feet, give or take. And when they're like, stay inside, don't go out, you begin to hate where you are. And so I was like, I would rather be anywhere but here. And I saw this beautiful property in the south of France. I think it just came on Facebook and I was tagged or something. And I was like, oh, I'm going to share this in my newsletter. So my newsletter, I wrote like, wouldn't you like to be anywhere but here? And then I posted it right in the newsletter. I got a call like a few days later from a past client. He was like, oh my gosh, Erin, I love your newsletters, which I didn't think anybody ever read. And he was like, how do US citizens buy in France? Because I'd actually really be interested in purchasing something in the south of France. And it just kind of clicked with me that I was like, oh my gosh, I have to start doing this. So now for 2 reasons, I always feature somebody else's property in the newsletter. Or I should say 99% of the time, we do our best. Number 1, it's because I want to continue building relationships with referral partners all over the world, right? Why not put their property in front of, you know, an extra 2,500 people? And number 2, I do it because now I'm seen as a global agent to the database. So it's just one more thing that adds to it. So when they're thinking, oh, I want, you know, I'm thinking about this area, I'm thinking about this area, hopefully they'll be like, oh man, Erin seems to know people everywhere. Why don't we talk to her first? So just something little that you
Isn't
can
that cool,
add into
you
a
guys?
newsletter.
Right? Like, we're all cool on the screen, right? If anybody's hosting a party that knows us, they're probably inviting every one of us, right? Any of those strangers out there, they're lucky to work with us. However, people don't care about us when they're caring about their regular life. We're all selfish and we're thinking about it. So Erin found a gorgeous house that made someone get their attention notice that they had a reaction, just the same way she did. She's like, she's trapped in COVID. And so she used that fantasy of a house in France. And now she is emotionally connected. And now when they think of France and housing, they're thinking of Erin. What a brilliant way to do business, right? To just change people's minds, to be that global person of choice. So I just love it. When they think about houses anywhere in the world, they think of Erin. So I love that, Erin. And again, how amazing for her agent that she can say, number 1, I advertised you. Number 2, here's a referral, right? Yay. So it's just, again, win-win for everybody. Isn't that awesome?
Well, Patrice, the timing that's particularly good because during the course of this afternoon, I've set up an agreement with our office for Keller Williams in Spain so that we can start marketing some of the Spanish properties through our business, because we don't have a huge amount of referrals in the UK at present. It doesn't quite work as well as that, but certainly having an opportunity to be able to market properties in Spain ties in with what you've just said. People think about that great opportunity to live in somewhere sunny as opposed to this in Scotland.
Yeah. Wherever that location is, I love that. That's so great. And again, this is the time of year that people are like, why go on a vacation? People that have money are like, maybe I should buy a place. Even if they don't, at least they're thinking of it. And if they're thinking of you when it comes up housing, it's just brilliant. I love that. I love that so much.
There'll be a huge amount of people that want to buy from the UK and want now that we can travel again. That's a big opportunity.
It's so good. And make sure your referral partner knows that you're doing this, right? Because again, even if it doesn't turn into something, it means a lot. People tag me from all over the world on their properties, and then I will send it out. Now I have like certain hashtags that go with certain areas because I'm always getting those. And it's amazing because more people come. And you guys, this is a business that we're trying to become attractors, right? We want to be the lighthouse that people are attracted to, not just chasing down clients. And that's part of what this pillar is all about, is making it fun. Now, by the way, you still have to go call strangers. So this is just one of the 5 pillars, but it helps when you have a pillar that kind of builds you up and gives you confidence. And right, by the way, you new agents, you're sitting there like, I don't know what to say. Let a house do it, right? Go find a luxury property from an agent that you like and can meet on the internet, put it out there and let people just start seeing you and associating you with luxury real estate, global real estate. It'll change the perception and it'll change your own perception of yourself, right? So in addition, we always talk about supersizing. I'm all in on everything. So now I actually have an agent specific newsletter. So I have my regular newsletter, and eventually you guys will get it as well. I have your email, so you'll see it next time. And I do a little bomb video, and I say thank you to my referral partners, usually just being personal, but it actually has content that should be valuable to an agent. So I'm supersizing that because now it's such a big part of my business, and I'm in a relationship. Now, it makes a difference that I'm talking with them all the time. So it's not super marketing. I make it about them. But remember, this is a relationship thing. So you can do that as well, or you can just add them to your regular newsletter, right? It's just about having touches and being strategic. Handwritten cards, everybody loves a card. When you get a card from someone on broker tour, another agent, right? KW, local, it doesn't matter. And Erin talks about this in her amazing database mastery class. She has a database of agents in her market, regardless, whether it's for referral or not, but stay in connection. You don't know when someone's going to. Erin, you always talk about, you get a lot of business from people that don't survive real estate, right? Restaurants and real estate are places that people get in and sometimes don't last. So why don't you share with us how you position that yourself to get a lot of business that way?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've taken Bold 7 times. I'm in it for the 8th time right now. And I always volunteer to lead my table or my chapter because statistically, there's probably 4 people sitting at that table that are not going to survive in real estate. But because they saw how I led the group through Bold, how I held people accountable, how I served my clients, now they call me whenever they have referrals. And they're like, oh, I left the business, but you were my Bold captain. Here's business. So yeah, I always suggest. And
you didn't stand up as a leader to do that, right? The point is that you are who you are, and you're a commercial for yourself all day long. And so Erin leverages those opportunities to show who she is as a businesswoman, as a giver, as someone coming back. Isn't that amazing? And by the way, you guys, these people, she's compensating them as well too. So she's getting to care for, again, it's win-win. None of this is taking. Isn't that so cool? To get to do business where you're like literally helping people while helping yourself. It's so cool. I love that. Thank you, Erin. And by the way, if you guys, I don't know if you guys are doing Bold yet. It could work for any of the classes. It could work just being a leader in your office. By the way, you guys can do what we're doing, right? Choose your specialty of something that you're good at and say, Patrice, can you get me in a market center in the US all day long, right? Erin, can you get me one in New York all day long? You can do that anywhere in the world and come from contribution, right? People love having whatever it is that you love. Just keep giving back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, one of the things that I do now is I have a couple of market centers that are very close to New York, and they're kind of feeder both ways. And I do like I'm a part of their quarterly sales rally. So I go on and I'm like their New York City person, and I jump on for like 5 to 10 minutes, and they ask me questions about the market, and I kind of give them a brief overview of what's going on, because they are markets, or it is a market that they should know about, which is why their team leaders had asked me originally to do it. And now I just want to do it everywhere, because these people, I really do have a lot of business going back and forth with.
I love
and
this.
If you love this business, then it's so fantastic to go talk about your market. It's like, oh, I get the opportunity to do this. This is work. Okay.
Erin, that's something I wish Ginny was on the Danielle, you have to remember to get on Ginny, is like, you guys, this is so smart. Even just like 5 minutes, team leaders are always looking for content, right? My team leader is always like, Patrice, can you come in the meeting and talk about blah, 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 right? They would kill for someone from a different market center to give a market update. Again, make sure to be strategic. It's a place where people are going in and out, and find places. But I just love that. I think that's such a smart idea. And then just to be consistent. What a way to come from contribution. Love that. You guys call people. I know the telephone is crazy, but I used to make a joke like before COVID, you couldn't get on the phone with someone. And after COVID, you can't get off the darn phone. I mean, good Lord have mercy. I don't make lead generation calls because I'm afraid people are going to want to talk to me. It's terrible, but true. I know. I'm like a high D, high I hybrid. So sometimes once you get me talking, I can't keep quiet, but my D is like, get off the call. You have stuff to do. But make conversation and find somebody. That leads us to the next one that could be an ally. If you're new in the business, find somebody who is also new in the business that you might be aligned with. Have a Zoom conversation. That was, again, part of how all of this global stuff happened with me. I was having conversations mostly with agents in France at first, one-on-one Zooms almost every week. I had a goal of talking with one person a week that I could share my value with. That's how now that's how I have all these relationships all over the world. It was, by the way, my only trip out of the US other than Mexico and Hawaii was that one trip to France, right? But I started building relationships because that's where I knew the most agents. So you can have these conversations or Zooms. People will love you for it. They'll learn, it'll be really great. Find a peak performance partner, invite them to a mastermind, host a mastermind. I'm sure, again, Evelyn would love to say, if you say, hey, Evelyn, this is the topic I'd like to learn about. If I can convince 10 other agents to invite people from around the world or in our local area, will you moderate it? I can promise you she'll say yes. Probably any other KW top producer, right? Because we're all about giving back. So great way to do it. It's a great way also to find an accountability partner, right? If you can't quite afford a coach yet, go find someone that's like you. Find someone that's similar in values, maybe a little above your business, and ask them to help. People would love to help, right? Isn't that the best thing in the whole world, is feeling like you made a difference? I don't know. That's my leading value. So all day long. And tell me if there's something in the chat I need to see, because I see there's a chat, but I can never see what it is.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Actually, I'm just super curious. Carol Ann, could you talk about your story leaflet?
It's just my door cards, and I wrote on it, call for a chat, and a wee granny called for a chat, and I couldn't get her off the phone. She just wanted to talk about everything, but dogs, cabbages, everything. So yeah, she's lovely, but I couldn't get her. I talk about houses. She just wanted to talk.
Well, and by the way, so don't be afraid. Again, the D can step up and manage the I conversations. I love talking with you. It's Sarah Smith, whoever you are, right? I love hearing about your dogs, but I also have a commitment to serve this many families this year. So I can't get off the phone unless I asked you for business, right? So I'm going to need 2 referrals from you by the time we talk next time, because I love our conversations. However, I also love my family, and I've made a commitment to myself. So in order for us to keep this relationship, I'm going to work on getting you business, and I'm going to need you to give me some business. Is that a fair partnership, right? And don't be afraid of those conversations.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point.
Yeah. So you, again, Erin, thank you, Erin. You hold everything accountable for business. We are literally building our life by design, but you can't afford it unless you're not selling houses. Conversations are great, right? But I also make sure that every conversation has something. That doesn't mean I'm using people. You have to find your own style, but there's also nothing wrong with saying, you guys, I have to work, right? I have children, I have goals. And so I want you to be my person, but you're going to have to give me some business. And
See, I'm a little bit different than Patrice. What I will do if I'm on the phone too long for somebody, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's this referral. I've been waiting to help, calling. I'm going to have to call you back another time. Kind of suggestive. And then you get off the phone.
Whatever it takes. Yeah, but I get to, if I ask for business, I get to count them as a contact. So, and I'm like, always like, I'm the contact girl. I'm like, oh, 2 pieces of business, please. I need 2 referrals from you. I find it's easier to ask for 2 referrals than 1 because it takes the pressure off a little bit because people know that they're not expected to have them. And by the way, when people say I don't have someone, sometimes people are apologetic and I go, oh my God, you don't have to have anyone from me, but I do have to ask. That's my job, right? So it's okay. Next time I'm going to check with you again. Sometimes if I plant a seed, it'll come back. And don't be afraid of being a business person. Erin, do you disagree?
No, I love that. Or maybe even like, because I will say, I obviously love Patrice, and I'm like, this is the most fantastic thing ever. So I've started saying this, and I said it to someone the other day, and she was like, oh my gosh, no, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll definitely try to send people your way. And I instantly was like, oh my God, I'm just kidding. I don't need to ask that. So, but, that's the whole fear setting in. But I almost feel like saying something like, that's okay. You don't need one today. I'm going to call you next week, or I'll call you in 2 weeks. But that is such a good point, right?
Well, it takes practice, right?
Contemplating, I like it.
And then it's always, again, and it's worked well because, again, people always apologize. Oh my God, you don't have to have someone for me, but I have to ask every day, right? I made a commitment of having this much business, and we don't ask for, we don't get. So no big deal. You probably have someone for me next time. So if you think of someone, let me know. If not, I'll call, I'll call you later. And just make sure that they're comfortable. That's the whole point.
That's great.
And it also gets easier. You guys, I just talked about at the beginning, I couldn't even call anybody. I've never even asked my own clients until a year ago, because I had a staff that I had to ask Liz, and thankfully she never cut back, but I had to have a conversation and say, can you survive if I cut back your hours by 10%? That happened 1 week. It made me so uncomfortable that I vowed to never do that again. It made me more uncomfortable to imagine my amazing assistant to take care of me, to have to live on a budget because I was too afraid to ask for business, that I jumped in myself, right? And so I had to be responsible to the role that I signed up for. And by the way, again, this took practice, you guys. My hands are sweating now, right? Like, we still get nervous all these times. You just do it anyway. Nobody knows. Especially as agents, like statistically, we're the bravest 3% in the world. We're entrepreneurs. Everyone else is terrified. So you just have to remember that no matter how scared you think you are, you're braver than everyone else on that phone call all day long. And if you can make them feel comfortable, they will reward you, and they will reward you handsomely. Trust me, I'm proof of that. Just by being nice and cute. Anyway, does anyone have any questions about that? Can you guys find value in finding someone who would be an accountability partner for you? Stop asking your spouse and your children. It's uncomfortable for them, right? Let them be your friends and family. Find someone who's in the business that needs it too, because you'll grow together. And it's totally changed Erin and my business by doing this. And you guys advertise and promote your people. Erin talked about putting it in her newsletter. We talked about sharing them on Facebook. Go out of your way for people, right? That's what coming from contribution is. Number one, you'll have something to share, again, especially for new agents. And number two, people reward back. If you do something nice for me, I'm going to have to supersize it because I'm competitive. You give me one referral, now I have to find you two. That's just not in a bad way, but it's just, that's what I feel responsible to. So use that for people, because that's everybody, not just me, right? I've even accidentally put leads out for business because people ask me to promote their listings all the time. And so it was in an area that people from California are moving to Utah constantly. So I asked my assistant, Liz, hey, let's advertise this here. She accidentally, I didn't communicate very well, surprise. She accidentally advertised it in that lady's area. She did an ad in that area. So for $45, I was able to give an agent 39 leads in her market center for her listing. I don't think she turned it into anything. But for $45, that agent has referred me 2 other agents, not pieces of business, but now I have 3 agents in Utah that refer to me, all because I took care of one. Do you see how amazing this can multiply? It's like, it's outrageous. And then lastly, actively seek business. If you're going to be doing this for real, you got to make sure that this is just a true part of your day, right? And don't do this in place of calling for today business. But this is something, you guys, that you can build out that will reward you forever. It's just really wonderful. And again, it's super duper rewarding and it's really fun. So that's the end of our class. I'd love to hear ahas and questions, and you know me, what are we going to implement? What's our action items?
Patrice,
Mm-hmm.
I attended your first one with Ali, and from then and now, I see such a change in you. Like, you're so much confident, and the way it runs, and it's so much better. Like, because obviously I was saying to Lynette, I've already been to Patrice's, I might just pass on it, but I thought, no, I'm going to jump on. But there is something again that I've learned out of this, and it's great, and I love it. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you for coming that one time, and you are you're a big support to me. I'm giving you a heart, of course. And you guys, it's just practice, right? What do we learn in KW? You fail forward and you just keep doing it over and over again. So Nindu, you're totally right. And you didn't even you should have seen the first one that we did in Panama. Holy moly, these guys asked to teach a class. I was like, I said stuff that didn't make sense at all. I was so nervous, right? But we just keep doing, and we're coming from contribution, and now those agents still are super grateful. So yeah, thank you for saying that. And I love seeing you on screen. You're getting better and better as well. Yeah, it's fun.
Ben Taylor's a big believer in the best way to learn it is to teach it. Attend every session as if you have to teach it the next day. Take notes to that effect, and that's how you're going to remember absolutely everything that you hear that day.
Yeah, absolutely. And just find something that you're passionate about, right? And again, wait till you guys see Erin with the database class, because I talk a lot in some of these, because this is my jam. I get all excited, and she is like database mastery queen. Whatever it is, whatever class you like or whatever topic, and whatever you find value in or you want to learn, come from contribution and take some other agents with you, and it's amazing. So yeah, I love that. So who wants to make this one of the pillars of their business?
Katrina had her hand up.
Oh, sorry, Katrina.
Yeah,
well, I see a lot of hands now.
Yeah, I was just going to give you my aha, basically. I really like the idea that Erin shared with the Facebook, the joining the groups and the putting in referral and searching for your country. I think that is amazing. That's a really good top tip, Erin. Thanks.
Yeah. And it's, I know that somebody did ask, I think it was Julia, about other places for referrals. To be honest with you, I personally don't know another area where they're, on. So I'd be interested if anybody does find one.
Yeah, thank you. Super.
Yeah, if you look up KW, just KW referrals, and just kind of keep putting that in, you'll find different things. And then you'll just kind of start noticing it. Oh, another thing you could do, by the way, again, for your referral partners, once you're a member of a group, invite your referral partners to join. I mean, there's just so many things you could do. We're just starting out and priming you with ideas. This would be even fun to mastermind if you guys start doing it more and ask questions, but it can just go on and on and on. You just want to make sure you're being purposeful. You're time blocking for it, and you're holding it accountable for business. This isn't farting around on Facebook, right? You have to actually do something with it, and you have to know that you're going to make those phone calls to the agent if you're going to do it. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time and you're distracting yourself from real business. So don't do this if you're not going to make those phone calls. I mean, you could join all of those, but we're talking about, right, how does an MREA agent do it? Who else has an aha or question? I saw some other hands for a minute.
Me unmute myself. So yeah, I've just started. So I'm in the Prime group and I'm doing my Ignite. I just finished my third session today. So this is all very new to me. But one of the things that I was also hearing Ben speak, who's the CEO of Keller Williams here, was talking about growing and kind of connecting with with other agents. And because I'm very new to this, I don't really have the experience of having those connections. So this was a really, especially the newsletter, of having an agent-centered newsletter where you're giving the information and connecting with them regularly. Just from my perspective, it was also just learning about the industry, learning about the different areas that maybe people are interested in. I have a few friends that are high net worth individuals, so I'm going to be looking at luxury properties here in London. So just being able to kind of reach into those tentacles and make those kinds of connections. So this was a like, for me, this was like the perfect kind of training to have, you know, the sparks of ideas that I needed to kind of have it as part of my business plan, because I'm writing out my GPS now. So that was a big thing.
I love that. I
that's
love
great.
that. And you could say something.
And you're right, like, especially you.
Sorry, I had a delay. Go ahead, Erin. Sorry, I froze for a minute. So I was just going to say, when you join these groups, Rebecca, if you say I'm at Ignite right now and I'm looking for other people that are newer in taking Ignite that we can hold each other accountable, how fun is that, right? Make it interesting. So love that. And Erin, I don't know if you said your piece, I apologize. I have some screen slowdown.
Oh my gosh, you're fine. We're having internet issues here, so it could be me too. But also when you're new, I love that, right? Taking a really good look into the people that you know that you want to work with, and then finding out, because like for me in New York, right, I'm not from here. I'm from Wisconsin originally. So I was like, okay, great. I know I have family there. I have friends there. So I immediately need to find agents that, you know, are rock stars in those areas. So when you are new, looking at it from that perspective as well, kind of like what you were saying you're doing, I think that's so powerful. It's a great spot to start.
I love that. Any more ahas from you guys?
I like the bit about setting goals for outgoing referrals as well as incoming referrals. That makes a lot of sense to map your journey like that.
Right,
She's
isn't that a powerful conversation?
With it, and she just gets so much business because she's purposeful with it, right? It's amazing. Every time I talk to her, it's just like, of course she keeps getting more and more. It's like something she focuses on. Fantastic.
Yeah. And again, we talked about coming from contribution. If you say, and I say that too, I have a goal of getting 100 referrals this year, and I have a goal of giving out 50, right? So tell me about your market center. It's an easier conversation than just like, I'm desperate for business and I need some, all right? I don't have any business. Nobody I know here will hire me. So I'm calling around strangers. Like, that is not a good that is not a script to use, people. That's the anti-script. So, and again, make it fun and show your personality. Be who you are, so someone can know you, so that you get clients that match and you're more likely to close them, which is also really cool in this space. Because when you're calling strangers, you take the stranger that you get. When you're doing this, you're literally becoming that beacon, and you're attracting people that will be most likely to want to do business with you in the way that you like. Any other questions or comments? Hi, Stephen.
Hiya. I think that the key point is, you mentioned it's purposeful, because it's easy to go and pick up the phone and have conversations with people, but the conversation you have to actually be focused on actually having business at the end of it. Otherwise, you're just losing an hour, a half hour, an hour of your life, to be fair. You've had a nice conversation, and a cup of tea, but you haven't actually paid the bills with it.
Right. No, and some of the conversations I don't ask on every single one, because I'm already in relationship, but put them in your database. Set up a touch plan, set up a nurture. You know, if you're calling someone, sending them a card, helping them with business, seeing them on Facebook, having a conversation, you're going to end up in a relationship with someone who can't help but want to help you back. So fun, right?
Yep.
I love this. Well, thanks you guys for having us. Any more ahas, bring them over. Next week, we are going to be talking about, there's our information too, by the way. I'll share info. Next week, we're going to be talking about client events, different ways that we're talking about attracting business by using agents and leveraging that. Next week, we're going to talk about showing who you are, giving back to your community so that you are attracting business referrals from your community, from your sphere, from your family, and how you can use different types of events. So we're going to talk about things that we do. We're going to talk about some of our systems. And so hopefully it'll be a really fun, interesting class. And then the following week, Erin is a master at database mastery. We've taught this class all over the world, and people just go hands down. We'll have productivity coaches in France that literally just keep teaching her class over and over again because it's so good. So we're giving you an idea that you can build your business on. Next week, another idea that you could build your business on. And then the last class is how do you use it every day to make sure that it becomes an MREA business, not just I sell a couple of houses, right? How do we get it so that the business comes back to you? So, and that's what Erin's going to teach us.
Well, for the Scottish, the Glasgow-based agents, we're actually about to move into our new market centre. I think it's a week on Monday we're looking to do it. So specifically the events that we can use or the market centre for is a big thing that.
Love it. I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah. I wish we could be there.
I know.
So they are. That'd be absolutely superb.
Hopefully soon.
Yes, soon.
Amazing.
I know. That's our goal by the end of the year, is to get a kind of business so that we can be traveling and teaching all over the world, right? Not a bad plan.
Well, and for everything to be open for us.
Yeah, well, we can't control that. Any other questions or ahas before we go? And the ahas are always so valuable. Make sure you guys are following us. Get all of our info. If you guys have questions, I think Erin shared some of those documents. If there's anything that you could think of, again, we run pretty nice sized businesses, not super mega businesses yet, but we're definitely doing pretty well. So if there's something that we have, we love, love, love giving back. So reach out to us, follow us on social media, like our stuff, tag us, whatever you want. We're happy to be in relationship with you, and we're happy that you guys welcomed us here. So thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.
We're super duper grateful.
Take care.
Have a great weekend.
Bye all.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank